What's going on, everybody? This is the debut of my new show called It's Nothing Personal, Just Bills. Got a couple of my guys with me tonight, man. Got my man EJ Daniels at the top up there. What's going on, EJ?
What's going on, man?
Man, Travis Blakesley.
How you doing?
Trav, come on, wake up, man. Wake up. I know it's late, baby. Wake up. Wake up. And at the bottom, we got my man, as you've seen him before. We ain't been together this year so far, but we together. The Bills beat right himself. The Mook man, Muki Hawkins, Wolf 1080. What's up, Mook?
What's up, man? Cut day.
yes, indeed. It was cut day at One Bills Drive, but we got to talk about it. You know, for the first time in some years, right? This cut day, I didn't care. Because we knew at like 46 of the spots that was going into the roster, right? Unlike last year's, where we're hoping for, I want to call it the scraping of the bottom of the bucket to make this team. This was the first year I'm like, yeah, that doesn't matter. Is Kumboro going to make it or not? And he made it. Right? That's all I was worried about. So, Mook, come to you first, man. Cut day, any surprises? What's going on? Give us a little insight.
Not too many surprises. I kind of probably figured that, probably would have been another trade or whatever the case. But, after Bam got traded off to Carolina, another, Carolina Bills trade, you know what I mean? But that kind of shaped that sealed FA's fate. We knew that Obata was going to make the squad then. Right, then we knew the Bills were going to, potentially have anywhere between 10 to 11 linemen. So it really wasn't no surprises to me as far as like who didn't make it and who made it. It was kind of like things on a bubble with Stevenson. The battle with Stevens and Hoskins. Then when Stevenson, flashed in Detroit, the kick return in Chicago, and he played well in Green Bay as well. That solidified his spot. Hodgins dealing with more or less of a, nagging little injuries, kind of derailed his, his camp this year. So I understand where the Bills going from cutting him, but he'll be on a roster the first thing in the morning. But no really true surprises for me. Nothing, no really real surprises other than how many receivers the Bills were going to keep and how many defensive linemen that the Bills were going to keep. So, I mean, we all knew pretty much who was going to make that roster there.
Now, EJ, any surprises for you that the traffic gonna come to you? I got to hear you fellas surprises because I didn't really have none. The only surprise I still got, and I'm still waiting for it, is y'all know me. Y'all know I'm waiting for that Jerry Hughes trade. But go ahead, EJ. Any surprises, man?
Yes, there was actually.
Okay.
Jacob Hollister was definitely a surprise to me. I did not think he was going to get cut. I thought he was going to make the roster outright, but some insiders have been telling us that he's going to be on the squad in the morning. And then Rashad Wildgoose and then Nick McLeod. I thought either one of those guys was going to make it. I didn't think both of them would get cut simply because they spent the draft pick on Wildgoose. And I thought Nick McLeod did enough in preseason to make this team. He had ball production pretty much all the games he was in, and I thought I thought he could at least back up, at least rotate, at least show that, he can do this in actual game action. But, those were the three biggest surprises for me. But other than that, I think everything is pretty straightforward. Then Antonio Williams also, he's a Buffalo favorite. Another guy that's consistently on the practice squad. He's probably another guy that'll be back there. But those are probably the biggest guys for me.
I'm gonna get a little bit hate about that Jerry Hughes. I know, but I'm bringing the hate on Thursday episode.
Wait, is Jerry Hughes? Can he still get traded or cut? Can he still get traded? Before the season,
Jerry, they're not trading. Jerry.
I'm just asking. I mean, that's what has been pushed that Jerry could be cut or traded. So I'm just sitting there throwing that out there. Could he still be?
Mario Addison will be moved before Jerry Hughes will be moved.
So we got all the coaching we need out of Mario.
Mario, yeah. He get more coaching than Trent Murphy.
Trav, what you got, man? Any surprises for you?
I mean, Mook and EJ kind of touched on some of the head scratchers with Hollister, but for me, it was just keeping five corners. Five corners is gonna keep us thin. I feel like with having Taron Johnson a little banged up, Levi Wallace, and Dane Jackson, excuse me, I think it leaves us a little vulnerable outside.
You know what? We may be a little vulnerable, but like this is not the first year we ran with 5 corners. There was a couple games the other year that we ran with 4 corners when Saran Neal was still kind of transitioning from in that middle point between safety and corner.
Yeah,
So,
I guess I think it's
with being the nickel. Sorry, with nickel being base, to have 6 linebackers and only 5 corners. That was the only way. But you're right. We've seen this before.
I'm still shocked we cut Tyrell Adams. And I'm assuming that we probably cut Tyrell Adams early in camp to do him a favor. Maybe he asked for his release. Maybe we did the veteran favor and say, hey, we're going to let you cut you now, let you go find something early.
Let's just be realistic. When we looking at this roster, let's be realistic on why he didn't make the roster. All right, you just paid Matt Milano how much money? You got to pay Tremaine Savage how much money? You paying AJ Klein right now how much money? You know what I mean? So Terrell Dobson earned that spot. You didn't beat him out. That's your 4th linebacker. Matakevich, special teams, and Andre Smith had one hell of a preseason.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, Andre Smith did. Yeah. I mean, he almost killed Justin Fields before he got started with his career.
And that's not bad. Once again, that's not bad for what we get. We gave up a conditional pick for him.
What you call Brandon Beane normally, man?
The burglar?
The burglar.
You know, he be stealing out there. He be stealing.
You know, I want to talk about yesterday. I know a lot of fans were really upset with the Daryl Johnson trade. I know a lot of us love Bam. I mean, I'm a big Bam guy, but you knew once Rosu came in, once Basham came in, he was gonna have a pretty tough time cracking his roster.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about the Daryl Johnson trade, Mook? I'll come to you first.
Now let my man Travis go. We're gonna pass the buck over to you.
Well,
Travis, okay.
Appreciate that, Mook. So somebody had to go, right? You know, the closer we got to cut down, the more I was kind of falling in line with Jeremy with the Jerry Hughes, especially with Brandon Beane making the comments that they were getting lots of calls on the D line. With the cap savings, I could see that happening. But we don't know what people were fielding as far as offers. We don't know what they were able to give us for other guys. So in the grand scheme of things, somebody had to get moved. It made the cut down that much easier. We got to keep a lot of the guys that we all wanted to see. And, we got a higher draft pick than what we spent. And we got, 2 good years out of them?
Yeah. This is true. You're speaking facts, man. Trav? I mean, EJ, not Trav.
I was like he said, I mean, it was just a numbers game. He had really played really well. He was a 5th highest graded or 2nd highest graded pass rusher in preseason, and he was going off. So I knew, FA about it was the one guy that you kept hearing about, who was a bubble guy, so to speak, who you kept hearing about, who was making plays in camp. Mm-hmm. So inevitably somebody had to get moved, and I'm actually happy for Bam Johnson that he'll go to a place where he can contribute, and finally grow into that pass rusher. For being a 7th round pick, I think he's having a pretty decent career so far, and I can't really hate on it. And like I like to see him go to a place where he can actually contribute, but he was playing his best football, honestly.
One thing I like about this, Facebook and all these shows and stuff, you get to connect people. My man Joe Sorsey says, hello, Sarah. And I didn't know who the hell Sarah was. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know who Sarah was. Then I see Sarah Chanceway. So, hello, Sarah. I guess you're Sarah. And hey, Sarah, meet Joe. You guys know each other. How you doing? Connect after the show. But,
Yo, he crazy.
I'm just saying, man. We all you see, it's just business. It's just business.
Was that when Harry met Sally?
That's it, man. That's it, man.
Joe met Sarah.
That's it, man. So, Mook, Daryl Johnson. I mean, I hate to see him go because he was that special teams guy that I've liked it. If you want to go way back to Mark Pike, Lorenzo Alexander, he's one of those guys, and I hated to see him go. But give us the insight on that, man.
Yeah, this is when it turns into that business side. I mean, do you Do you keep a guy that you've been developing basically as a 7th-round pick? When you draft a guy in the 7th round, normally they don't make your team anyway, right? But here it is, this guy that you didn't drafted, he flashed, he showed every bit of that potential and that athleticism that y'all drafted him to be. Y'all developed him to make this roster for the next, every season. And here it is. I think his contract, I think this probably was his last year's contract as well. Being a 3rd rounder, I'm not quite sure, but you don't want to release. You rather trade somebody than release somebody. And then right, like how Sheldon said, he became Kumaro. Pretty much made Bam Johnson and those guys expendable on special teams. The receiver was more valuable, and when it came to that position, when it came to that roster spot. They're loaded with Boogie and Basham. They drafted them 1 and 2. You got Espinosa. You drafted 2 last year. So, right, like EJ said, it becomes a numbers game. And then to get value, you get a 6th-rounder for him that you drafted in the 7th round. So that's a win-win in my eyes. And then, he played at North Carolina A&T.
Yeah, they sent him home.
So he get a chance to go back home. So, salute to you, Bam Johnson. Wish you was here, but, we'll see you in the Super Bowl, hopefully. Yeah,
not no damn Carolina, you won't.
Yeah, Carolina, man.
Bro, Sam Darnold got the juice. He got the juice to get him to at least to the playoffs.
He got some juice. It's some high C with high fructose. So he ain't going no damn zero.
I was super
not in Carolina
speaking. I was super hypothetically speaking over there.
You
on the Carolina side.
People see you interviewing players, man. They gonna drink that Kool-Aid. Don't do that.
They sure are, right?
You gonna fall home.
Muki said, "Bills, Carolina, go bat it."
Right. Yeah, but hey, guys, before we get too far in this show, because kind of towards the tail end, people be going to bed and stuff. Do not forget September 10th, 5 to 10 p.m. at Soho in Buffalo. Yes, in Buffalo. We're going to have the 2nd annual Mafia Homecoming Party. The link for the tickets is in this show's bio. It's 5 hours open bar, free food, raffles, door prizes. We got so many vendors. I mean, we got so many things lined up, so many giveaways to give you guys. I don't even know we going to have enough time in 5 hours to give all this stuff away. And do not forget, our special guest host is confirmed. The Savage himself, A-Dub, A-Will, whatever you want to call him, will be our special guest host, Aaron Williams. So you get a chance to come out and hang with him, party with him, chill. You don't get this opportunity much because a lot of them dudes be up in 500 per. We can't all get up in 500 per. We private parties. But this is your chance. There is no dress code, but you do have to have clothes on because you Bills fans, y'all get a little weird and stuff. Start setting yourself on fire, jumping through tables and stuff. We ain't doing none of that now. We want to stay safe, but make sure you guys come out to Soho. Ticket link is in the bio. You don't want to miss this. No other place you're going to go and get 5 hours open bar. Just saying. Just have a DD and you good.
Especially at Soho. You got open bar at Soho. That thing will be flooded.
You know what I'm saying? J-Mano hooked us up. So, all right. Another thing. So, we talked about Daryl Johnson. We talked about the not Jerry Hughes trade that didn't happen. I was thinking it was going to happen. And Jake Fromm. This is an interesting scenario here. This is a guy that EJ, and we talked a couple weeks ago on Travis, I said I didn't think he would make this roster. I didn't feel like after we signed Trubisky, I didn't think we were keeping 3 quarterbacks at a chance. Jake Fromm was cut today. Obviously, I think he may be back on the practice squad, but it would not surprise me if he's picked up by another team. He has some talent. Nothing against him. I just don't think he can run this offense as Josh Allen is out. But EJ, what's your thoughts? We'll let you go first now. We'll keep this thing rotating.
I like Jake Fromm, man. I know that's unpopular, but I like him. I think I'll agree with you that he probably can't run this offense the way Brian Dable need him. He doesn't have the arm, as Muki alluded to, like Trubisky or Josh. But I mean, he's a game manager, and that's what I see as his ceiling, just being a game manager. The Bills, they have 2 quarterbacks on the roster that I think, if worse come to worse, they could throw it all over the yard and they could push it down the field consistently with accuracy. And I think Trubisky can do that, and I think Josh can do that. Fromm, I'm definitely not confident in doing that. And that's a big part of the Bills' offense, those deep crossing routes. They ran the most deep crossing routes last year of any team, and Stephon Diggs has the highest grade on deep crossing routes. So that is a big route in their arsenal, and I don't think Jake Fromm, can throw those routes consistently, accurately. So this wasn't a surprise, but I do like Jake Fromm.
Trav, you got anything, my man, with the khaki pants?
I think he'll end up on the practice squad, really. I mean, I never saw 3 quarterbacks ending up on the active roster. And like EJ alluded to already, I feel like you do have to change your game plan a bit when you're dealing with his type of skill set. Can he get better? I'm sure, but he's never going to, he's not going to be able to throw the ball a mile. He's not going to be able to really break down a defense the way Allen would. And he's also not going to be able, we saw him with a little bit of wheels, but he also doesn't, he doesn't bring that athleticism to the table. So in short, I think he is where he belongs. And we're talking about a practice squad, 3rd string quarterback. The picking is slim for sure.
Before I go to Muki, this is the perfect timing for New England, who just cut a quarterback today named Cam Newton, to come pick up Jake Fromm and put him as their 3rd string quarterback behind Brian Hoyer. Because it is. This is such a New England move.
Yeah,
it's the right move.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll just say, yeah. Mook, what you got, man? Jake Fromm.
I think Jake Fromm is on the practice squad. I mean, he was your quarantine quarterback last year, so it's like, do you really want to go somewhere else and learn a whole another system? How many NFL teams are carrying 3 quarterbacks right now? So you got to look at all of that stuff there too. So I think Jake will be back on the practice squad. What other teams could be vying for services other than Detroit, who he's played against? And that was pretty much like his best game. He was solid against Green Bay, not that bad, but the Chicago game, I guess I blame that on Bobby Hart. But Fromm will be back in the building. I think both quarterbacks will be, due to the fact that they have so much rapport with Davis Webb on how he's like another coach out there. You know what I mean? So I don't see Davis Webb going anywhere. Both players will probably be up on the practice squad.
It's funny that you said Bobby Hart, man, because Brandon Beane kept everybody waiting today to release the Bills cuts. We probably was the last team to announce all our cuts. And if you were on any of these Facebook group, Twitter, where's Bobby Hart? Bobby Hart better not have made this team. When is Bobby Hart getting cut? I can't believe this. We cut this person and not Bobby. Bill's Mafia was going sick.
They would have lit it on fire. They would have lit the internet on fire if that would happen. They would have lit it right on fire, bro.
You would have had petitions, protests, whatever you want to call it, to get Bobby Hart.
Billboards.
Yes. Billboards. We are known for billboards. It was getting ugly, man, but they did release Bobby Hart, and Bill's Mafia kind of chilled out a little bit. But Bobby, no bad, no hard feelings, man. I hope you get picked up somewhere. Take some wings with you on your way out. I mean, no, for real. No, for real. Take some wings. Stop at Nova's, Dumps, wherever you want to go. Anchor Bar, any of those wing places with a sponsor the show. By all means, contact me and throw me some money. But yeah, good luck, Bobby. I mean, best of luck to you. We thought Jordan Mills was bad. That's all I'm gonna say. Is we thought Jordan Mills was bad. We got about a half through Bobby Hart, and we saw what bad was in his face.
Yeah. I'll say Jordan.
And Jeremy, you wishing that on another quarterback? You just said you wishing that on another quarterback. That's not
I didn't say in the NFL. I didn't say in the NFL. I said, and I didn't say a left tackle. I said a job.
Oh man.
I said a job. I didn't get that could be aerodynamics. That could be a bus driver. I didn't say it at left tackle or anything.
A turnstile.
Yeah, I just said a job. Don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say that. No, I ain't wishing that on nobody except Nate Peter.
Bills were hurt.
But
hey, don't say Jordan Mills' name neither. You make me want to cut somebody all over again by mentioning his name. Huh? Please don't mention his name.
I'll tell you what, if you had a choice between Jordan Mills and Bobby Hart, who you take?
Ooh, I gotta take Jordan Mills, man.
Right, that's a no-brainer, bro. That's a no-brainer.
Man. No. I mean, like I said, these cuts was nothing interesting, man. Like I said, we talked in our chat all week about I figured Kumar will make this team just because of special teams value. Now you got Bills fans clamoring for John Brown Smoke to come back. Listen, let it go, man. Just let it go, okay? So
he would help though. He would help though.
Help where? Where he gonna play at? Who he gonna play over?
No, you're right. There is no room. I agree with you on that, but it's not like he wouldn't be serviceable if he was on back.
Somebody
on the team,
gets hurt. You don't think that John Brown?
Yeah, like
John Brown
we just gonna line up and put Frank Gore out there receiver again, just like we did a couple years ago.
Right. No, we ain't doing that.
I take my chances with Breida, man. I'm good. I mean, I missed a little smoke dance that he did and all that, but hey,
gotta bring Smoke back, baby. That's why he ain't with that. He feel like he helped build this, man. He helped build.
He did
this.
though. He did.
Gotta bring him back, man.
Smoke back going to Miami with the rest of those 25 receivers they got, man.
No, he ain't trying to do that neither. He's trying to come back here to Buffalo. He from there.
He ain't want to take no pay cut. He ain't want to take no pay cut. I don't know how he's gonna come back, man. He gone, man. He want to take no pay cut. He didn't want to be a part. He didn't want to be an adequate part of the process.
Well,
part of the process taking.
I bet he's $2 million right now.
In your opinion, in your humble opinions, do you think Emmanuel Sanders is an upgrade over John Brown? Because I personally don't think it's an upgrade. I don't think it's an upgrade.
You have
I like both of them. I like both of them. I'm just saying I don't think it's a significant upgrade like they making it.
He's way more versatile.
I'll tell you what. EJ, go back to the tape, right? Go check out any third down you see, and tell me how much separation John Brown got on third down.
I'll do that.
And then you'll have your answer.
I did see him get down the field though and win on the outside.
And guess who?
I did see that.
With
John Brown?
The Gilmore catch.
Week 17.
Separation on third down. We're not talking blowing the top off.
I mean, because that's where the value lies. Those 20+ yard plays, and he had a lot of those on the outside at that.
You have a propensity of going back to one play in a span of like 40 games and saying, y'all know I seen him do it. He did it great. You have a very bad habit of doing that, man. We had to go get Stephon Diggs because this cat couldn't get open.
Okay, now we're talking about a top 5 receiver versus a mid-tier guy. Like, don't do that, Jeremy. Don't.
I'm not comparing Stephon.
Like Stephon Diggs is in a tier with like 4 other guys, bro.
What I'm explaining is how we got to Stephon Diggs. There was a cause and effect to getting Stephon Diggs, and part of that cause was this dude not getting open in that ugly ass Baltimore game we had that year when nobody could get open.
Can't get open. You didn't get open. Can't get open. If you can't get open when we need you to get open, then you can't. You're not earning your money. We got to cut ties with you. I'm paying you $8 million. You can't get open. You can't get separation from a nobody cornerback. I don't even know who the cornerback was covering. You can't get no separation from the number 3 corner. From the number 3 corner on third down, you're not getting any separations.
So I just want to
Manny Sands. Yeah. Manny Sands can blow the top off the defense and get separation. You know what I mean? So
I like Manny. I like Manny Sanders for the record. But for the record, Muki, I just want to ask you a question. So the competition matters, correct? Is that what you're saying? Competition matters. Okay, yes. just making that clear. Just making that clear for everyone out there.
I'm gonna say Gabe Davis is better than John Brown at this point.
Wow. All right.
I mean, you gotta look at Gabe.
I take him over it.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's younger too, so yeah, and he's bigger, and he can do the same things. Yes, that's a no-brainer.
I mean, Gabe Davis route running look real crisp in the preseason.
Yeah,
he been putting that work in.
Marshall. Yeah, he should. It should look that way.
I'm just saying. I mean, John. If John could go out there and cover some punts and tackle some people, then I'll bring him back. If he can't hit nobody, I don't want him, man. Give me Jake.
If something happens to one of our receivers, and knock on wood, God forbid, nothing happens. But if it does, and John Brown is available, you better believe that the Bills will be calling John Brown. John Brown probably will be calling them too. He knows the system. I mean, he'll come back here to cheat because he already know, the team. He already know they're on a Super Bowl run. So all of that is still intriguing to him, and I'm quite sure that he still feel felt slotted not to be a part of that right now. So, hopefully, maybe something work out, in that fashion for him. But other than that, Manny Sands is slightly better than Smoke Brown.
I'm just gonna give a little update too of y'all to know my man.
Yeah, you about to get Cindy. You about to get Cindy in trouble. You about to get her in trouble, Jerry. You about to get Cindy in trouble.
I'm just gonna give a little update, man. My man Joe. So yeah, I know that little Sarah thing. Sarah had a husband, so Joe kind of backed off of that.
You about to get her in trouble.
Chat now. Joe all on it, man. Do we call this DMs, man?
Damn, Joe, you certified lover boy here on the
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute.
Plot thickens.
You have a class reunion on the show, man.
Right,
I love this, man. I love this. Yeah, you got love this, man. Nah, this is funny, man. This is funny. But no, man. I mean, I like our depth at receiving core. I love our two running backs. I think Motor about to have a breakout year. I really do, and I think he got harped on for no real reason last year. Besides, the offensive line couldn't run block to save their life, especially the interior line. I won't say all of them, but the interior line, they couldn't block for him. But the fans blamed him for whatever reason, like he regressed with a dude who was averaging 5 yards of carry the year before, like he did anything different. But I think he's in tip-top shape. He got something to prove. He's going to have a year. I don't think that, and I think me and Muki talked about this last year, about targets for the tight end. I think we're going to get probably those 60, 70 targets again to the tight end, no matter how you want to break that up. As Bills fans, we're praying that 50 of those targets that Dawson Knox, and he's catching them and has a low drop rate. The offensive line, I think we set there. I think the biggest worry in the offensive line is Mitch Morrison concussions, as always. But if with that happens, we do know that John Feliciano can slide over the center. The defensive line, I mean, my God, I don't even know where to start with that. Do you guys think that we kept too many defensive linemen?
Nope,
I would have kept one more if I had to.
Yeah, because they told us in the draft that the reason that they can't beat the Chiefs, or the way they're going to beat the Chiefs, is by generating a crazy pass rush. So they doubled down and took two, and they didn't get any cornerbacks. And they didn't get one till what, the 6th round? That's what where Wild Goose was taking, the 6th round. So they said that we're gonna double down on pass rushers, and we're gonna make Mahomes' life a living hell. So if you are telling us that that's the way you're gonna win, then yes, you need as many pass rushers as you can possibly get, because the Chiefs are their only competition. That is what's standing in their way to a Super Bowl. So the answer to your question, they can't have enough defensive linemen, because that's the way they're going to win on defense this year. It's through that defensive line. So now we need to see this plan executed.
Well, next year it'll be two less probably. Well, I don't know for sure. It'll be one less guy, up front. Jerry Hughes, I think Jerry Hughes is going to sign another year extension after this. It depends if Bills win Super Bowl or not. I don't think Jerry Hughes is going to go anywhere. Addison is one and done year for him, I think. And then you got Espinosa, Boogie Basham and Greg Rousseau, they take over. Then the Bills can go ahead and draft a first round corner or second round corner to pair up with your Davies down the line at this draft. But I think they're gonna wait and see what veteran corner gets cut off an NFL team, and it's gonna be intriguing to come to Buffalo because they're a contending playing team. They're a contender. They're a contender right now. So teams is gonna be like, man, I'm going to Buffalo. So it's like, cut me so I can go to Buffalo, please.
We ain't had that since Bryce Pop, man.
Right. Cut me so I can go to Buffalo.
Right.
So
right. It was one thing or the other, man. We either signing people like Bryce Pop and Chris Stillman trying to get a ring, or we signing people like Derek Dockery to $60 million. Trav, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, you can't have enough edge rushers, and like Muki was talking about, in short as a year's notice, we could be down to pass rushers. So I think it's clear Bean's putting all his eggs in one basket. I think he truly believes that affecting the quarterback or just the defensive end in general has more chance of impacting each play than, say, a top tier cornerback. You can isolate their number one wide receiver all you want, but they can throw somewhere else. They can run the ball. So having that top tier defensive end and a bunch of them, I think, is really going to put this defense to where it needs to be in regards to catching the Chiefs. I mean, that's what we've all been talking about since we lost that game. So, to EJ's point, if it's going to happen, this is the way it does.
And to your point again about the Chiefs game, remember I've said before, remember how many receivers that the Bills had that were hurt. Diggs was hurt, Beasley was hurt, Gabe was hurt. Now they signed so many, they kept all these wide receivers, which I'm glad that they did, because now you got 7 guys who I think can go out and can contribute on a given week. And if y'all saying Manny Sanders is the guy that he still is at 34, then that's another guy, that can contribute. But, the Bills are telling us that they're going running back with the same scheme. I just hope they're not going to try to go point for point with the Chiefs, because it's just not going to work. The Chiefs got a different type of efficiency, but based on what they're saying with their roster, that's what they're going to try to do on offense. So,
man, ain't nobody scared of no Chiefs.
I didn't say you had to be scared, but they play.
We ain't scared of no Chiefs.
They play a brand of football that is tough to keep up with, because they got all pros all across that way, man. They got all pros everywhere.
Oh, we ain't lost Mook.
Right.
I tell you what,
man down.
He enjoying smoke on the sideline, man. Mook could be back. He'll be back. We'll get back here. No, I mean, I still think we have a little bit too many D line, because if you look at the roster right now, like I said, we got Jerry, Addison, Obata, Rosu, Basham. Is that it for DNs? I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Yeah, Epinesa.
We got 6.
And Epinesa 6. And then D tackle. We don't know what the injury status to Harrison Phillips is. We have Harrison, Star Latula layback. We got Ed Oliver. We got Justin Zimmer. Moves back. We got Vernon Butler. We got 11. And normally for the last couple of years, we would keep us at 10 or 9.
They said they've been rotating 8 or 9 is what they've been saying.
Right. So now we up to 11. So at some point we are going to be short at one of these positions. I mean, injuries. We pray the injuries don't happen. We know at some point something's gonna happen. Hopefully not too detrimental. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, the linebacking core. I don't think we have to worry about that too much, because I think we've shown in the preseason that somehow, some way, we're going to be a nickel 80% of the time again. And one of the things I would like to see, and I want to talk to you guys about. Obviously, we saw Saran Neal kind of struggle in coverage in the preseason. I think, Travis, you said, maybe it was you that said in our group chat that, hey, he's not a cornerback.
No, that was me.
That was you. Okay, it was you. But one of the things
Trav said he was a slot, and I was like, Trav, he's definitely not no slot corner.
No, but one of the things that we did see is when you're putting him in the box and he's playing tight ends and he's helping you defend against the run, the dude's Bam Bam for real. His name on Instagram is A Bam Bam, and he's Bam Bam for real. I think that's the right role for him, and I hope that we see that implemented a little bit, because I think a couple years ago we tried to sign Maurice Alexander for that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. What you got on Saran, and then that role possibly that rover, joker, whatever you would call it. I call it the Sorensen.
Well, yeah, they drafted Saran Neal, to be kind of like, I don't want to say the Kuechly, that type of hybrid that he, invented out there in Carolina. The Shaq Thompson, kind of converting those safeties to play that will linebacker type deal. But he, they come big nickel. They experimented with him on the outside. So, now he has the intangibles to play inside and outside. So the way the Bills juggled this roster, how they made this 53 was, okay, Saran can hold us down a couple of games outside if need be. All right. So, that's where it comes down to. They're going to go with the guys that have the most familiarity in the scheme and the most continuity with the players that's already out there. So, he's been thrown in the fire. Remember, Saran Neal was playing outside cornerback in the playoff game in Houston. All right. Yeah, so, he has those intangibles. And once again, it's year 3, year 4 for him as well. So, they're going to go with their guys that's more seasoned, more polished, and holding down a roster spot than trying to experiment with somebody that they drafted later on that's not, progressing, and, they're going to stick with that. So Saran Neal is, definitely one of those guys that knows the scheme in and out. He's a special. First of all, he's a leading tackler on special teams. You know what I mean? So he has the potential on making the Super Bowl as a special teamer this year. So he has high value. He has definitely high value on this team.
What you got on Saran Neal, Trav?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to root for Saran Neal because he seems like a guy who really works his tail off. He's got experience in this defense, and he has a lot of the measurables that you're looking for in a corner, whether it be slot or outside. And he offers a ton of flexibility by being able to back up all those roles, and just like Muki mentioned, the special teams availability. He's a core special teamer, and that has really been the theme, I feel like, with the bottom end of the roster. I'm sure on most teams, but specifically with this one. I can't remember as a Bills fan getting hyped over so many guys who might not necessarily field the position that they're listed as, but we know they're going to be on that team. The Tyler Medikeviches, Saran Neals, and Jay Krumro is a guy who's going to probably fill that role, like you mentioned as well. So, he knows the system, and he's definitely going to be able to fill in better than some of these guys who may have more upside in the long run, but will end up on the practice squad eventually.
I just hope that we use Saran Neal properly, because I think the last couple of years we have not used him properly or used him to his full capacity. I think him being in that Drew Sorensen role that the Chiefs used Sorensen in, that's the proper role. And not only do I think he would excel in that, I think he would be one of the best in the league at that role, because he does have, for that type of position, extremely good coverage skills. Like you said, Mook, he played on corner on the outside in a playoff game, meaning if you put him inside and he's guarding running backs coming out and he's guarding tight ends, he's going to excel at that. And then if you add in the special teams factor, the hitting, I just want to go hit somebody, well, now that helps you in the run game. So if you guys go back to, I think it was 2019 when we opened up the season versus the Jets and Giants, and I think we were down Milano or somebody that first couple games. Mm-hmm. And Saran and I think maybe it was D. Marlowe had to come down in the box for 3 games. We played the Bengals during that stretch too, I believe, with Joe Mixon. So we're going to get to some questions. We'll let our insider Mook take these questions tonight. And so the first question is from our man Lover Joe here. Lover Joe says, do you guys think we go after a veteran cornerback on the market?
I think so. I mean, as one is available, to their liking that fits the scheme, who plays, off coverage, a little zone. If he fits the scheme, then I'm quite sure that the Bills are going to pull the trigger, because, I mean, Levi Wallace has a hip injury, and if you can't flip your hips, then, you cook food out there. Dane Jackson, 6th-round pick, has the potential to start, but who do you have after that? So if a veteran, more seasoned guy comes around at a bargain price, I'm quite sure the Bills are going to entertain that.
All right. Next question. We'll take Joey Hatch says, who do you think is going to make the practice squad? I mean, we got 14 to choose from now, right? Everybody.
Yeah. Hey. I'm making the practice squad. Travis, EJ, all of us made it.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I got my helmet right here. I'm ready to go, man. I got my helmet right here. Buffalo Vets, like 1994. He's going to give me a deal, man. The practice squad. I'm ready to go. You ain't got to give me no mouthpiece. I'm good. So Cody Wells says, are we worried about not resigning Reed Ferguson? If so, should we be worried? Because I saw one of Epenesa's lost snaps and it was rough. That's a good question.
Reed Ferguson is a captain on this team. Period. He's not going nowhere. I think he resigned already.
And Reed, they got, for a long snapper, Reed, they got more love than any long snapper I've ever seen play the game of football.
Right.
Makes a lot of money too.
26 shirts gave him his own T-shirt, man. Ain't no long snapper in the history of football that played the number long snap got his own T-shirt, man. So when he at the Thanksgiving Day and Christmas table with his brothers 20 years down the line, Yeah, I got my own T-shirt. Y'all to get one.
How many long snappers make 53-man rosters?
Not many. Not
Not
many.
that many.
Not many. But after that Giants 49ers playoff game years ago, they became real important after that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he'll be back on the squad. He's the captain of the special team, so that's just he probably was put in the office and explained that thoroughly on why they did that. It's a roster situation, but he's going to be out there when it's time to play the Steelers.
We're gonna take 3 more questions. So Cindy Martin says, why are we not getting more detailed injury updates?
Well, I mean, they're minimum updates. I mean, tomorrow, practice starts back up, so quite sure it's gonna be that's gonna be the first thing. Coach got to give up the injury report. Normally he'll give that up before we start asking for it. And then, we'll get a little bit more in depth, but Stephon Diggs, he's fine. He's fine. Harrison Phillips, he might not play week 1, but he might be ready to go week 2 right now. Things are still up in the air. You still got to figure out what's going to happen with Spencer Brown, Tommy Doyle. I mean, even if the guys make the roster, they still might be healthy scratchers or potentially not suit up. They'll still be inactive for the game because they can only suit up, I think, about 48 guys. Something like that. So, it's more. A lot goes into preparing a 53-man roster for game day. So, they'll be fine. They'll be fine in that regard.
And we'll take the last question here, and it says, and actually, all the guys, I got a second part of this question. This is a good question from Ryan Longwolf on YouTube. Is it plausible that we have 3 receivers getting over 1,000 yards this season?
EJ,
is it plausible?
Yes.
No, I'm talking a question out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's plausible. Is it gonna happen? Probably not. Just because you telling me Gabe Davis is a 1,000-yard receiver? Because Jeremy, I remember talking to you
in 17 games, and with Stephon Diggs on the side, and Manny Sands in the slot. I think he could be very easily. Yeah,
they will definitely get the volume to be a 1,000-yard receiver. I'll say that. But do I think they're gonna be 1,000-yard receivers? You rarely see 3 receivers go over 1,000 yards these days, even with all the
17 games now. 17 games. Throw that in there.
You're right. And then you're talking about Dawson Knox splitting targets too, and he'd be taking his 3rd-year jump. So I don't know where. Me
and Mook said 70, man, between tight ends. We didn't say Dawson.
Listen, that's y'all guy. Mookie told me when we talked the other time I was on with Mookie. Mookie said that's the Bills guy, and that's who they going with. So I said Dawson Knox because that's what Mookie said. Mookie no. So Dawson Knox is gonna get a lot of those targets that y'all saying. So I don't think that's gonna happen because he's gonna have this emergence. So no, I don't think they're gonna have 3,000-yard receivers.
Trav, can we get 3?
No, because we got 4. We got 4 guys. I could see if I'm not saying all 4 are going to get 1,000, but the problem is unless somebody gets hurt early on for a long point of, for the season, I don't see it happening just because, what's the saying? You rob Peter to pay Paul.
Rob Peter to pay Paul.
And you're going to, between Davis and Sanders, I can't see either of them being on the field separately. I see them all on the field. So, I think Diggs will get it, and I think Beasley will get it, and then the other 2 are going to be around 700 each.
Yeah.
Okay. Mook?
I think it's possible. Josh Allen's going to throw over 5,000 yards this year. So, I mean, it's possible. And like Joey Hash just put up, Stephon Diggs led the NFL with 1,500 yards, over 1,500 yards. Cole Beasley was 40 yards away from 1,000. And, and if you just want to say, okay, Gabe, we just going to throw you 10 targets, game 17 for your 250, then you're gonna have that you're gonna have that 3rd receiver go over 1,000 yards. So I say it's definitely possible. It's definitely doable. I mean, did y'all see? First of all, did y'all see Mitch Trubisky throw for 28 passes in the first half? You saw Josh Allen throw for 29 passes in the first half. Do you think that they're just going to throw for 10 more passes in the second half? Josh Allen is going to be throwing the ball 40, 45 times, if not 50 times a game. Right? So do the math on that, on how efficient he is and how efficient this offense is right now. I think 3,000.
Like I said, it is plausible, but then you have to also take in consideration that the Bills probably going to be up in a lot of games too. And Brian Dable and Sean McDermott have showed us in the preseason that they're going to make a more concerted effort to running the ball, and not just running them gap schemes too. There's a lot of power, a lot of counter they was running in preseason. So let's take into that. You got two good backs back there. They need to start playing some keep away. They need to be more balanced. That is my biggest issue with Buffalo. When they need to be balanced or they need to employ a different type of strategy to beat a team like the Chiefs, they can't do it. So it would behoove them to not have 3,000-yard receivers, in my opinion. I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds like a oxymoron with the way they play, but they need to start running the ball a little bit more, all effectively or whatever y'all talking about. They need to start running the ball more.
Yeah.
They're going to get that balance, but that's not going to stunt the passing game's growth, not at all. The run game should give it that balance to make to expand the passing. You know, they always say run sets up the pass anyway, right? So once that run game gets to clicking in the second year with the line being back for a second year, you know, Singletary is more familiar with the zone scheme because he was a power back. They switched the scheme because of Stephon Diggs, so they had to go more zone, so you don't have no continuity, and then you have a back who's unfamiliar with that type of scheme in the NFL. So another year with that, you know, should prove big dividends in the run game. But once again, Josh Allen is going to be throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game. He's going to have some games where he throws for a nickel out there. It's been games already when Josh Allen down there had 300 yards at halftime. You know, this is what the Buffalo Bills do. They're not going to stop that for anybody. You saw that in preseason, 5 wide, down the field, 90-yard drives, 88-yard drives. They're going to put this ball in the hands of their $258 million quarterback and have at it. That's what they're going to do. So 3,000, I don't know. I'm going to have to ask Josh that, and we're going to have to get the questions back circulating about the 5,000 because I asked Emmanuel Sanders that when he first got here. And he said, I hope he throw for 10,000.
Manny want to eat, man. Manny got a Hall of Fame resume kind of going right now. He's trying to get to, so he got come on. He's trying to eat, man. You're not kidding. But hey, guys, you know, this is a good show. It's I want to get you guys' final thoughts before I get down to my personal feeling of the night. So, Trav, I'm gonna start with you. What's your final thoughts on the Bills roster cuts and going forward?
I mean, it was pretty straightforward. And we knew we were going to have a ton of wide receivers. We knew we were going to have a ton of pass rushers, a few surprise guys. But like you said to start it off, we said let's bring the season. We don't got to worry about no Duke Williams type player anymore. You know, we're geared up. We're ready to go. No, you know, love Duke Williams. But we don't gotta worry about the bottom of the barrel, so to speak. So, you know, I'm just excited that we're 2 weeks away from opening up the season up, and you know, it's gonna be good to see a full crowd over there in Buffalo.
Just rolled old Duke over with the bus, man. Damn.
Dude.
EJ, final thoughts, man.
Right. Yeah, Trav, you came for Duke Williams hard, boy.
Bet you won't say the Duke's face.
No, I wouldn't.
But I do. My first thought is that I feel like they're very thin at cornerback, and I think that will be the issue when they play these better teams. But again, as I said before, they bolstered their pass rush, so they're not putting as much pressure on the cornerback. So let's see if that strategy works. My second takeaway is that if you guys are pegging Dawson Knox to be this tight end that y'all say he's going to be, I'm not confident in it. And so I think Jacob Hollister needs to be a part of this offense, especially if they're going to throw it around the yard like y'all say they're about to do. So those are my two biggest takeaways, the cornerbacks and then the tight ends.
All right. Last but not least, man, a guy, Bills beat writer, Muki Hawkins, 1080, Wolfo 1080, man. Bills world. What's going on?
I don't mean to sound biased, and I'm quite sure everybody that's listening right now can help me out, chime in, but I know this only preseason. But what team has looked better? Who looks more Super Bowl ready right now than the Buffalo Bills? I mean, when you look at the 3 games they played in, clearly dominated all 3. I mean, that Detroit game was tough, but it was a good, tough way to get out of that situation and pull out a victory the way they did that. And after that, it was just, okay, they know that they got that quality depth now, and, they could build from that. But what team looks better than the Buffalo Bills? When you look at how when your starting quarterback come out there and how polished he looks, how poised and comfortable, how he's anticipating things in the pocket right now. I mean, Mahomes is not performing that way in preseason. Aaron Rodgers have yet to play. All right. So, I mean, what team looks more impressive this preseason other than the Buffalo Bills? Now, I understand that Baltimore has an NFL record for winning 20 in a row preseason games. The Bills are 8-0. All right, they slowly but surely changing the culture with that. If y'all peeping game, the Bills are 8-0 in the preseason. They was undefeated this year. So one of the recipes that Coach McDermott and Breen talked about is have a home field advantage. So having a home field advantage means you must win every game. All right, so this is that mark right now. Let's win every game that we in uniform. Right now, the Bills are 3-0. And they got Pittsburgh coming in week 1. Hopefully that stuff can carry over and translate, especially the way Josh Allen was playing on Saturday. That was a great birthday gift right there.
Yeah, you still got birthdays, Mook, man. We didn't get to say happy birthday to you, man. Belated, but still, nonetheless, late is better than never. So happy birthday to our man, Mook, man, out there grinding. I bet you didn't do nothing for your birthday. Did you do it? You got to do anything?
Nah, I didn't do too much, man. I just chilled out, you know what I mean, and just laid back in the cut like Neosporin this time.
Well, we're gonna be in town in 2 weeks, man. So I got the perfect spot to do something now. Make sure y'all coming out to Soho for the Mafia Homecoming Party. 5 hours open bar, free food, raffles, vendors, and our special guest host, Mr. Aaron Williams, gonna be there on rocking the mic. Man, Mookie gonna be in the building. Bills World gonna be in there, man. Make sure that y'all come check it out. Y'all gonna have a good time. All the ticket info is in the bio. Now, I want to get to the last part of this segment, which is, I want to thank everybody for tuning into the first episode. This is something new for me. I've never actually had my own, kind of show where I kind of branched off of everything. I want to thank all my guys for coming on tonight and giving me a hand. But this is the part of the show I like to call It's Just Business, where I pick one topic that I want to talk about very briefly and just get down to the gritty, pulling no punches. So this is it. The Bills are keeping 11 D linemen right now in this roster. We've spent premium picks on AJ Epinesa, Carlos Basham Jr., and Greg Rousseau. We spent money on Mario Addison. We've extended Jerry Hughes. We've drafted Ed Oliver in the top 10. We spent money on Star Lotulelei. At some point, something has to work because Trent Murphy did. A guy like Shaq Lawson, unfortunately, kind of didn't. And that's not McDermott's fault. I'm not going to blame Shaq Lawson for McDermott's fault, but the rest of the guys is kind of on him. Between McDermott, Leslie Frazier, as much premium picks and money we have spent on his D-line, being probably the most expensive D-line in the NFL the last 3 to 4 years, this has to work. If it doesn't, this is an epic failure. And at some point, you have to change your thinking. So it's either work or it don't. If it don't work, because if it don't, you're not beating the Chiefs. As simple as that. Hey, just remember, it's nothing personal. It's just business, but you need to get the job done. I want to thank my co-host tonight and all my guys, Travis Blakeslee, for coming on, EJ Daniels, and my man, Muki Hawkins. Guys, first episode, I'm going to catch you guys every Tuesday at 9:30. I may be a little late, but I will be here no matter what. But every Tuesday at 9:30, remember, it's just business. Thank y'all for tuning into the first show. Catch y'all later.
All right, we catch you next Tuesday, man, on that Fan Base Network, baby.
Tuesday, Fan Base, yes. Fan Base.